Ah, first-person shooters. It's hard to imagine there was a time when one of gaming's genre juggernauts didn't exist. I'm not gonna sit here and bore you with a history lesson. That's what the internet's used for. Well, that and mostly porn. Just as every genre has had its time on top, like the fighting game craze I mentioned a while back, the very end of the 90s to basically this current moment in time, the first-person shooter seems to have dominated the mainstream. Hated by some, loved by many, but a constant popular scapegoat for real-world atrocities. Because according to, let's say, Doom logic, going by the view screen of the player character's perspective, they're holding a gun as close as possible to their chest or neck, can't look up or down, not to mention the game auto-aims for you. Plus, the game takes place in hell, where there seems to be human weaponry scattered all over the place while you're shooting demons. There you go, that's like, what, 3 or 4 cartoony examples of how Doom isn't gonna turn you or I into a crazy person? Then again, I can't really speak for everyone, plus I'm a bad example. I was already crazy and messed up to begin with. I mean, this one time... Wait a minute, I'm getting off subject. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, first-person shooters. So, yeah, I can't say we've seen it all because we haven't. But we sure as hell have seen a lot throughout the years. We've been here, we've been there, we've been to outer space, galaxies far, far away, World War II, Vietnam, arena shooters, competitive shooters, not to mention fantastic campaigns where sometimes you even take part of actual historical battles, such as storming the beaches of Normandy. Whoops. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Alright. Ridiculously over the top to real life events. We've been to hell and told the devil, we're not gonna take it. Even time for a little R&R. Shut up, it's just a video game. A little less serious, but that's okay, because there's something for everybody. So there you go. Thousands of games, millions of enemies, millions of guns, countless great stories, and an unending amount of memories. And you may be thinking, we've seen it all, but like I said, we haven't. You know what I want to see as a premise? How about a group of fucked up aliens hijacks a ship, crashes it on that planet, kidnaps everybody, the captain, the crew, military forces, everybody. But the only one that got left behind is the ship's chef. And by himself, he has to lead a rescue mission to rescue his crewmates from the aliens, armed only with his frying pan and his bare feet, but he puts on slippers to run faster. That premise kind of sounds familiar. P.O.E.D. I gotta show you guys this one. But first, you wanna know what gets me P.O.E.D? Take a look at this. This big ass case is what the old school PS1 games first came in. Then they switched to these, just plain jewel case plastic. So what do you get when you go from this and you want to sell it used into this? You just take the instructions and cut everything in half and put it in a jewel case. Seriously? Seriously. And the cover doesn't even stay on. Who cares about the details underneath? God forbid someone knows how to play the fucking game. You can't even read the story! I bought this used many moons ago, which means a human being actually had this in their hand. Now whose bright idea was it to take instructions like this and just fucking take scissors and cut it in half like that and then shove it in a fucking random ass jewel case? It's bullshit! What the fuck? Well, I'm gonna try and read half of the prologue so that we somewhat know what's going on. So, the ship's been sucked through a wormhole. The captain's shouting at Ox, the chef that we play as, "You better put dinner on the back burner, because it looks like we're going to be working late tonight. Radar shows we've got ships," and that gets cut off. It's a hell of a cliffhanger. What a piece of shit. Might as well get the game started. P.O.E.D was developed by Any Channel and published by Accolade originally for the Panasonic 3DO in 1995, which I'll probably never own, so a year later the game was ported to the original Plastation, which is the version I own, obviously, as you just saw by my mental breakdown. So, as I mentioned before, we begin as Ox, stranded on the ship the Pompous, armed obviously with his trusty frying pan and bare feet. Although I'm using a controller that comes with the analog stick, because God knows where the fuck my old controller is. Movement is directed using the D-pad, which might sound weird, but hey, that's how we used to swing it back then. It does take a little getting used to, though, after nearly 2 decades of playing better controlled other first-person shooters. Ox's movement keeps its momentum still after you've stopped, so you'll still be walking slightly after you release the D-pad. That's a pretty realistic mechanic to include in such an over-the-top game. I'm seriously impressed. If you think about most other first-person shooters, your character can go from running like 60 miles per hour to a complete stop. Wouldn't that, like, shatter their legs or something? If Ox moves too slow for you, pressing the select button sees Ox double his speed by putting on his slippers. That is fucking adorable, and probably comfortable as all hell. The controller's sensitivity speed is almost too fast. He starts flying all over the place at warp speed. Jesus Christ. After you kill these hippity-hoppity red things, Ox eats them and your health is restored partially. Gross. Ox, what kind of a cook are you in the first place? God only knows where the hell those things have been. This game is almost 20 years old. The graphics are obviously pretty dated, so some of the sprites and environment textures look a bit fuzzy and such up close because they're low res. But hey, at the time, we were used to it. So it's forgivable. Well, to an extent. Looking back, we really have come a long way. Another thing you'll notice pretty early on is there's no in-game music. So you'll just hear, what the hell is that? Is that a bipedal ass with fangs coming out of its butthole or mouth, I guess, belching fart clouds at me? So the aliens in Duke Nukem followed him back to Earth to take over the planet and enslave the women. Doom has legions upon legions of demons from hell. Halo has a fanatical covenant of alien species with religious convictions hell-bent on eradicating the human race. And P.O.E.D has living asses. This game is fucking awesome! God damn, I wish every developer had balls like this. I gotta see that fucking thing's name in the instructions unless it's cut off. I bet it's some common name like Eugene or Stuart or something like that. His name is Butthead. That is fucking amazing. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, cheat sheet. Ah, the good old days. So what do we got here? Ammo refill, full health, full inventory. What the? Does that say what I think it says? Fart noises for Butthead. Fart noises for Butthead. While most games give us cheat codes that give you like unlimited ammo or extra lives, P.O.E.D on the other hand gives you a cheat to give sentient asses the ability to have fart sound effects that they should rightfully have had in the first place. Anyway, go back to the main menu and select Load Game. While at the Load Game screen, press all 4 top trigger buttons, L1, R1, L2, R2, you get the point. Then back out pressing triangle. Next, start up a new game and prepare for a flatulence fest like no other. Okay, maybe it's time to move on from the farts. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, music. Well, not that there isn't any music, but that makes it feel more atmospheric. Just hearing the drone-like beeping of the computers or the humming of the environment makes you wonder what else may be eerily hunting you down around the corner, waiting. Besides asses. Once you reach stages that require climbing ladders and jumping, it can get a little frustrating. The ladders all seem to be greased up with butter because you slide all over the place, and how the hell is he climbing that fast with one hand anyway? As I mentioned before about Ox's movement momentum, it also has weight on his jumping. It's more of a glide and takes some time to get decent at. Think Turok meets Shadows of the Empire. So you're going to be pressing that select button a lot to find your preferred speed. Are you serious? Look at this shit. Yeah, this should go well. With the camera swaying all over the place, I can see how some people may get motion sickness. Oh my god, these fucking jumps! All I can think of is Ox shattering his feet from all these falls since he's not wearing the proper footwear. The first couple of levels are basically traditional for this game. First person, running and gunning around, looking for the exit. But then you trade in your slippers and get this awesome jetpack that takes you to great heights, taking out aliens from high above. It actually feels like the game's engine and the map design was built with the jetpack in mind, so why they hid it in such an obscure, hard-to-find place is fucking beyond me. Double tap square to switch between foot mode and jetpack mode. Then by pressing the select button you can toggle the jetpack off, but will reactivate whenever you jump, or leave it in a low-running hover mode, skimming across terrain and saves you from falling off cliffs to your death. These later stages get huge, so the jetpack is a necessity. Good thing it can't run out of fuel. Some of these levels get me thinking they'd make badass designs for big multiplayer maps for something like Halo. Take the Forge mode for example from that series and P.O.E.D's interesting choice for textures, and they're all clustered together, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, it's just me as usual. But since we're talking about level design, now would be a good time to discuss P.O.E.D's area map system for each stage. By default, hold square and press select to bring up the map, and holy shit, what the hell am I looking at? That impaled red testicle is me. All the green spots are places you've already traversed, and obviously the blue parts you haven't been to yet. In these old school first-person shooters, it was easy to get lost. Some of the levels were like labyrinths, so the games had maps you had to refer to for assistance. Nope, no waypoints holding your hand on where to go next. P.O.E.D uses obviously a different 3D engine, so it required a fully 3D map. Ambitious, but Jesus, so many lines, I'm getting lost just trying to figure out a path for myself. I feel like I need to be a goddamn architect just to know how to read the damn thing. Well, I want to show you guys some more shit, but since I haven't played this game in like 16 years, I deleted my save game on my memory card. So let's refer to my little cheat sheet again, shall we? What the hell? Is that supposed to be Ox? Why is he so fat? On the cover art, he's like in shape. Well, from what I can see from the top half of the instructions that I own, I do like how they show Ox armed to the teeth with every weapon you can find in the game. I mean, haven't we all wondered how our character doesn't get over-encumbered and trip all over himself in older first-person games holding like 50 weapons? Or at least imagined what your guy looked like? Well, there you go, P.O.E.D answers your question. Fuck your common sense and reality. In fact, in all these modern first-person shooters, this is what I want my guy to look like running around on the battlefield. Come to think of it, maybe that's why he's in shape on the cover. He lost all the weight from all this shit he's got to go through in the game, and the cover's like the aftermath. Get it? Like it's a before and after or something like that? Or maybe I'm an idiot. Anyway, full inventory. Go to the map. We're gonna move the camera pointing towards us. To revert the view angle, press start. While it's in its auto rotation, press L1, square, X, and circle. What a pain in the ass for a code. It's like in Shadows of the Empire when I had to use my fucking nose to access the debug menu. Well, now we should have a full inventory. But first, we have to refill our ammo by pressing square and L2 to perform a backflip. And during the mid-flip, you press right, X, and circle as the secret button combination to max out your ammo. What? How can a man of that girth carrying all that weaponry perform such an acrobatic move? You wanna know what else pisses me off to no end? Press triangle to bring up the weapon select wheel, then scroll with L1 and R1, then the game has to fucking load to bring each weapon up to the screen. Oh, that's real fucking convenient. Perfect gangbang rape time from all the enemies. Alright. Maybe I gotta cut Ox some slack. I mean, he's carrying all the weapons on his back, like I said before. So what's one of the most important parts of a first-person shooter? The weapons. Oh, and this game has them. We've already seen the frying pan, and the butcher knife that works short to mid-range, which also Ox seems to have a never-ending supply of. Just where in the hell does he keep them all? You know what? I don't want to know. We have a power drill that works similar to the chainsaw in Doom, and when Ox gets blood all over his face, he wipes the screen with his hand. That's fucking hilarious.
Bring it on.
There's an electric pistol. Where's that cord plugged into? His ass? A flamethrower, a pink fuzzball firing plasma cannon, another one that ricochets off walls called the Meat Seeker.
Meat Seeker. Yeah.
The Whaler Gatling gun, rapid fire rocket launcher, and finally, my favorite besides the drill, the guided missile launcher. I like the extra animation of Ox lifting up the cannon before he fires, as if the thing weighs a ton, and after the missile's collision the camera pans out to give you a glimpse of the destruction you caused. Such attention to little details like that are a nice touch. Not to mention it's a good way to clear a hole through a crowd of enemies. I hate to have to use cheats, but some of these battles the game tosses you into feels like you almost have to. I mean, look at this, it's coming from every fucking angle. What is this, Serious Sam? There's like 100 weapons in those games too, but you know what? At least the game doesn't have to fucking load the weapons before you can use them. Dicks, get your shit together. No wonder why they called the game P.O.E.D. Well, with a chaotic, unconventional game like this, bending the rules a little bit just makes it a blast to play, to be honest. Lastly, what good would all those weapons be without an interesting cast of characters to use them on? We've already met the edible Ralph and the adorable Butthead, so say hello to this topless chick with big guns. I mean cannons. I mean bazookas. I didn't say boobs. This annoying midget ninja robot thing that bites your ankles. Green blobs that multiply when they take damage. These weird red devil things that spit jawbones at you. Okay. Creepy red eyes that become more visible as you shoot them, and they look like they turn into an old guy's face, and then they suck your health away. Get the hell away from me! What are these fucking things? That's seriously one of the most terrifying things I have ever seen in my life. Then we have Kane from the WWF, or WWE, you know what I mean. What, you don't see it? Clear as day, that is Kane. Oh shit, I think I hurt his feelings. These stupid robot flying douchebags called Turbo that take forever to kill because they fucking fly all over the place. They're impossible to hit. Ugh! And finally, we have Max, a towering mechanized killing machine that's reminiscent of Doom's Cyber Demon. Only Max is a lot easier to kill. But not when you're getting gang raped by about 50 of them at a time. What the hell? How is this fair? There's more baddies than this, but I'd say these idiots are the highlights. Except for Turbo. Turbo can blow me. Oh, and silly me! How could I forget? The final level has giant fucking spiders. Every game I play has spiders. What the fuck? It's like some sick joke I keep playing on myself. Well, a wacky shooter with crazy weapons, fucked up enemies, interesting and maniacal level design, P.O.E.D. is a reminder not to take things too seriously. It's all in good fun, and there's room for everybody. It also teaches us to take a little time, stop, and smell the asses. So yeah, P.O.E.D., a fun first-person shooter. It's far from perfect, very far, but it's still enjoyable for what it is. So pick it up, try it out. Hopefully you pick up a more properly packaged version than I did. Well, until next time. Yeah, that wasn't the game. I'll be right back.